My girlfriend said during an argument that he was more important to her than I was, and that I made her feel unsafe. It hurt me, but I said nothing and quietly walked out of her life. Then one evening, out of nowhere, there was a soft knock at my gate. I opened it and saw her sister standing there, holding something in her hand. What she showed me that night changed everything I thought I knew. I'm Daniel, 31, and I run a small but successful carpentry business in Portland. Nothing fancy, custom furniture, home renovations, that sort of thing. I've been doing it for about 6 years now, ever since I left my corporate job in sales. Couldn't stand the office politics, the fake smiles, the endless meetings about meetings. Working with my hands, creating something real, that's what keeps me sane. I've always been the kind of guy who keeps his head down, works hard, and believes in honesty. Maybe that's why what happened hit me so hard. I'd been with Lauren for almost 3 years. We met at a mutual friend's barbecue back in the summer of 2021, and I fell for her fast. She was energetic, spontaneous, always planning the next adventure, everything I wasn't. We balanced each other out, or so I thought. She worked in marketing, loved her job, loved the creative chaos of it all. I admired that about her. We talked about moving in together, even looked at a few places in the Alberta Arts District. I was ready to build a life with her. I'd started saving for a down payment, cutting back on expenses, doing extra jobs on weekends. I wanted us to have something solid, something real. But there was always this guy. His name was Troy. They worked together at some marketing firm downtown, and she talked about him constantly. Troy said this, Troy thinks that, Troy came up with the best campaign idea today. At first, I didn't mind. I told myself I wasn't the jealous type. I trusted her. That was my first mistake. It started unraveling on a Tuesday night in late September. September 26th, to be exact. We were supposed to have dinner at my place. Nothing special, just pasta and wine, maybe watch a movie after. She showed up an hour late, barely apologized, and spent most of the meal on her phone. I could see her texting, smiling at her screen, completely checked out of our conversation. I finally asked her what was going on. It's work stuff, she said, not looking up. Work stuff with Troy? I asked, keeping my voice steady. She looked at me then, annoyed. Her face changed, like I'd just insulted her. Why do you always do this? Do what? Act like I'm doing something wrong. Troy's my friend, Daniel. That's it. We work together. We have to communicate. God, you're so paranoid sometimes. I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to. So I dropped it. We finished dinner in silence, and she left early, saying she had an early morning meeting with a client. I cleaned up the dishes alone, staring at the half-empty wine bottle, wondering when things had shifted. 2 weeks later, I found out she'd been lying. Not about Troy being her friend, about everything else. It was a Saturday afternoon, October 14th. I'd gone to her apartment to surprise her with coffee and croissants from that bakery she loved on Hawthorne. I had a key. She'd given it to me months ago, told me her place was my place. When I walked in, I heard voices coming from the living room. Laughing. Low, intimate laughing. I froze in the doorway, bags in hand. I walked in and saw them on the couch. Not kissing, not touching, just sitting too close, her hand on his knee, both of them looking at something on his laptop. The energy in the room felt wrong, too comfortable, too familiar. They jumped when they saw me. Daniel. Lauren stood up fast, her face flushing red. I didn't know you were coming over. Clearly. I looked at Troy. He had the decency to look uncomfortable, closing the laptop quickly. Hey man, he said. We were just finishing up some project stuff. On a Saturday, I said flatly. Yeah, deadline Monday, Lauren said quickly. Too quickly. We've been slammed with this campaign for a new client. Troy offered to come over so we could work without office distractions. I set the coffee and croissants on the counter. My hands were shaking. I'll leave you to it. Daniel, don't be like that. But I was already walking out. I heard her call my name, but I didn't turn around. I got in my truck and drove home, gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles went white. Update 1. She called me that night. I didn't answer. She texted, "Can we please talk? You're overreacting. Nothing happened. You're being ridiculous." Overreacting. That word burned. I stared at my phone for an hour before I finally called her back the next morning. What's going on, Lauren? And don't lie to me. She sighed, that frustrated sigh I'd heard 100 times. Nothing's going on. Troy and I are friends. We work together. You're being paranoid, and honestly, it's exhausting. Then why does it feel like I'm the third wheel in my own relationship? Because you make yourself feel that way. God, Daniel, not everything is about you. I have a life outside of us. I have friends. I have work. You act like I'm supposed to only care about you. That stung. But I pushed forward. Do you have feelings for him? Silence. Long, heavy silence. I could hear her breathing on the other end. Lauren, I don't know, okay? I don't know. He gets me in ways you don't. My chest tightened. What does that mean? It means you're always so serious. So cautious. You analyze everything. Troy is fun. He takes risks. He makes me feel alive. He doesn't question every little thing I do. And I don't. I didn't say that. You didn't have to. We fought for another 20 minutes. It went in circles, her defending Troy, me trying to understand how he got here when things changed. She kept saying I was controlling, that I didn't trust her, that I was making her feel suffocated. Finally, she said something I'll never forget. You know what? Maybe he is more important to me than you are. Maybe that's the truth you can't handle. And honestly, Daniel, the way you're talking to me right now, you're making me feel unsafe. Unsafe. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't threatening her. I was just asking for honesty, trying to save what we had. But that word, unsafe, it was like a door slamming shut. I knew what that word meant, how it could be used, what it implied. It scared me. I didn't say anything else. I just hung up. Then I blocked her number, blocked her on Instagram, Facebook, everything, and walked out of her life. I thought that was it. I thought I was done. For 3 weeks, I heard nothing. I threw myself into work, took on extra projects, stayed busy. I built a custom bookshelf for a client in Selwood, refinished a vintage dining table, started designs for a kitchen renovation. My friends asked what happened. I gave them the short version. We broke up. It wasn't working. We wanted different things. They told me I did the right thing, that I deserved better. I wasn't sure I believed them. Some nights I'd lie awake, replaying the conversation, wondering if I'd overreacted, if I should have fought harder. Then, on November 8th, around 8 p.m., there was a knock at my gate. Not my front door, my gate. I live in a small house with a fenced yard in the Montevilla neighborhood, and the gate squeaks when you open it. I thought maybe it was a delivery or a neighbor needing help with something. I opened it and found Lauren's younger sister, Amber, standing there. She was 26, worked as a nurse at OHSU, and we'd always gotten along. She'd come to a few of our dinners, even helped me pick out Lauren's birthday gift last year. But she looked shaken now. Her eyes were red and puffy, like she'd been crying for hours. Amber, what's wrong? Are you okay? She held up her phone with a trembling hand. I need to show you something. Can I come in? Update 2. We sat in my living room. She was trembling, clutching her phone like it might explode. I made her tea, chamomile, the only thing I had, and waited for her to speak. It took her a few minutes to compose herself. I found these on Lauren's laptop, she said finally, her voice barely above a whisper. I wasn't snooping, I swear. She asked me to grab a file for her while she was at work last week, something for a presentation she needed. And when I opened her messages to find it, I saw her messages with Troy. She handed me the phone. It was a screenshot of a text conversation. My stomach dropped as I started reading. Troy, when are you going to tell him? Lauren, I don't know. He's so clingy. It's exhausting. Every time I try to have space, he makes it this big thing. Troy, you said you'd break up with him weeks ago. What are you waiting for? Lauren, I know. I just need to figure out the money situation first. Money situation. I felt cold. I scrolled down. Troy, how much does he have in savings again? Lauren, around $40,000. He's been saving for the down payment on that house. He's so proud of it, talks about it constantly. It's honestly pathetic. Troy, perfect. Once you get access to it, you can leave. We'll go to Cabo like we planned. My buddy has that condo we can use. My hands went cold. My vision blurred. I kept scrolling, each message worse than the last. Lauren, I hate lying to him. But he's so boring. So predictable. I can't do this anymore. He wants to stay in Portland forever, build furniture, live this small life. That's not what I want. Troy, just stick to the plan. Get the money, then we're out. You deserve better than some carpenter who can't even afford a real vacation. Lauren, I know. God, I know. Thank you for being patient with me. I looked up at Amber. She was crying again, fresh tears streaming down her face. There's more, she whispered. She's been telling people you're controlling, that you've been emotionally abusive, that you won't leave her alone even after she broke up with you. She's building a case, so if you fight back, no one will believe you. I heard her on the phone with Troy 3 days ago. They're planning something. I felt sick. Physically sick. Planning what? I don't know exactly. But she mentioned a restraining order. She said it would scare you into compliance. Those were her exact words. Why are you telling me this? I asked, my voice hoarse. Because you're a good person, Daniel. You were always good to her, to our whole family. And my sister. She wiped her eyes, mascara smearing. My sister has turned into someone I don't recognize. This isn't who she was. Or maybe it is, and I just never saw it. She's planning to file a fake restraining order to scare you into giving her money. She told Troy that last night. I was in the next room. I heard everything. I sat back, trying to process. My entire world was tilting. A restraining order? For what? She's going to say you've been stalking her, threatening her, showing up at her apartment. She knows how it sounds. Big guy, quiet type, won't leave her alone. She's counting on people believing her. She even practiced crying on the phone with Troy. I heard her rehearsing what she'd say to the police. My heart was pounding. I haven't contacted her once since we broke up. Not once. I blocked her on everything. I know. That's why I'm here. You need to protect yourself. She's dangerous, Daniel. And she's desperate. Update 3. The next morning, I went to a lawyer. His name was Greg, an old college buddy who owed me a favor. I'd helped him build a deck at his house 2 summers ago, refused payment, just told him to remember it if I ever needed legal help. Now I needed it. I showed him the screenshots Amber had sent me. She'd forwarded them all to my email before she left that night. This is premeditation, he said, jaw tight, face grim. She's committing fraud. Possibly extortion if she tries to blackmail you. This is serious, Daniel. Really serious. What do I do? Document everything. Every single thing. Don't contact her under any circumstances. Don't respond to texts, calls, nothing. If she files a restraining order, we'll fight it with this evidence. And if she tries to access your accounts, we'll have her arrested. How much access does she have to your finances? She knows my bank. We talked about joint accounts once, but we never set them up. Good. Move your money. Today, open a new account at a different bank. Don't tell anyone where. Change your locks if she has a key. Install cameras if you don't have them already. That afternoon, I moved my savings into a separate account at a credit union across town. I changed my locks, installed Ring cameras around my property, front door, back door, gate, driveway, and kept a detailed log of everywhere I went, every person I talked to, just in case I needed an alibi. I felt paranoid, but Greg said it was necessary. 2 days later, Lauren texted me from a number I didn't recognize. We need to talk. I made a mistake. I miss you. Can we please just talk? I know I hurt you. I didn't respond. I screenshot it, sent it to Greg, and blocked the number. An hour later, another text from a different number. I know you're angry, but I'm scared. Troy isn't who I thought he was. He's been using me. Please, Daniel. I need help. I need you. I still didn't respond. Then she called from yet another number. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail. Against my better judgment, I listened to it. Daniel, please. I messed up. I messed up so bad. Troy, he's been manipulating me. He convinced me to say those things about you, to plan all that stuff. I didn't mean any of it. I need money to get away from him. Just $5,000. I'll pay you back, I promise. I'm begging you. Please. I have nowhere else to turn. You're the only person who ever really cared about me. Her voice was shaking, crying, desperate. For a second, just a second, I almost believed her. Almost. Then I remembered the texts, the words she'd written when she thought no one was watching. I deleted the voicemail. I sent it to Greg first, then deleted it. The next day, she showed up at my house. I was in my workshop out back when I got the notification on my phone. I watched her through the camera as she banged on my gate, crying, yelling my name. She looked genuinely distraught, makeup running, hair a mess. Daniel, please. I know you're home. Your truck is here. Please just talk to me. I'm so sorry. I'll do anything. Please. I didn't open it. I sat there, watching on my phone, my heart pounding, forcing myself not to move. After 10 minutes, she left. She sat in her car for another 20, just staring at my gate, before finally driving away. That night, Amber called me. She knows I told you, she said, voice shaking. She went through my phone. She saw the messages I sent you. She's furious. She said I betrayed her, that I ruined everything. She kicked me out of the apartment we share. I'm staying with a friend now. I'm so sorry, Amber. I never wanted this to affect you. Don't be sorry. I'm glad I told you. But Daniel, be careful. She's desperate. And desperate people do stupid things. Really stupid things. Final update. It all came to a head on November 22nd. I got a call from Greg around 10 a.m. She filed the restraining order, he said. Court hearing is tomorrow at 2 p.m. But here's the thing. Troy filed a police report against her this morning. What? Apparently, she stole $8,000 from his account. Transferred it while he was asleep. Thought he wouldn't notice. He's pressing charges. And when the cops questioned her this morning, she tried to blame you. Said you manipulated her into it. That you were controlling her finances, making her do things against her will. I laughed. I couldn't help it. The absurdity of it all, the sheer insanity. She doesn't give up, does she? No. But she's done. The cops have the bank records. They know when the transfer happened. Your alibi is solid. You were at a job site in Beaverton all day with 3 witnesses. She's cooked. The court hearing was fast. I brought the screenshots, the timeline, the voicemails, everything. Lauren showed up with a lawyer, someone she'd clearly hired last minute. She looked terrible, exhausted, desperate, defeated. But the moment the judge saw the evidence, the texts, the planning, Troy's police report, the bank records showing she'd stolen from him, it was over. Her restraining order was denied. The judge warned her that filing false claims could result in criminal charges and a countersuit for defamation. Her lawyer looked mortified. She left the courthouse in tears, stumbling, barely able to walk. I didn't feel victorious. I didn't feel anything except tired. So tired. A week later, Amber told me Lauren had moved back in with their parents in Seattle. She'd lost her job, fired for the theft and the drama. Troy wanted nothing to do with her, had blocked her on everything, was considering a civil suit. Her reputation in the Portland marketing scene was destroyed. Word travels fast in small professional circles. As for me, I sold 2 custom dining tables that week, got a new commission for a home office build in Laurelhurst, and started going to the gym again. I even went on a date, nothing serious, just coffee with a woman I met at a hardware store. It felt good to be myself again. Some nights I still think about Lauren, not with anger, but with something close to pity. She wanted excitement, money, a life that looked good from the outside. She wanted shortcuts, easy paths, other people's savings. Instead, she got nothing. Lost everything. Amber and I still talk sometimes. She's doing better, found her own apartment, cut Lauren out of her life completely. We grabbed coffee last week, and she thanked me again for not shutting her out, for not blaming her. I don't know if I believe in karma, but I do know this. You can't build a life on lies. Eventually, it all comes down. Eventually, the truth catches up. Edit 1. A few people asked if I ever heard from Lauren again. She tried to friend me on social media about 3 months later under a fake name, Sarah Mitchell, with a profile picture of a sunset. I recognized her email and the URL. Blocked immediately. Edit 2. Troy apparently moved to California. San Diego, I think. Good riddance to both of them. Edit 3. I'm doing fine now. Better than fine, actually. My business is thriving. I'm working on a custom entertainment center for a client's home theater. Sometimes walking away is the only way to save yourself. Sometimes the best revenge is just living well.